Ball player, paper, you would think I was a drop. No. Zone 6 brick boy. Watch me score 100. Call Dick Vitale, cause Gucci a diaper dandy. PT player, I bought a blue Aston. Draw season bricks go up, do the adding.
Hello, I am Jelani. We're here with episode 4 of the podcast. I'm joined by
China Rose.
And today I want to talk about an article she wrote about paying homage, otherwise known by some artists as glazing. In your article, you talked about how sometimes homage can cross the line. Would you expand on that and how sometimes it can be homage and at other times it can be just egregious glazing to the point that you're just on the wave?
So I think the line is drawn when, one, you're not giving credit to an artist that you're paying that respect to, and you're just claiming it as your own, and you're turning it into your own essence and your own personality with nothing changing. That's another thing too. If you're not adding your own personal essence to it, because you're not adding your own personal essence to it when you're no longer inspired, you're fully on appropriating them and becoming who they are. That's when the line becomes thin, because now you're profiting off somebody who not only came before you, but you're just emulating everything that they've already done, that they've already did. And I remember in my article, I've also addressed that also leaves no room for new trendsetters and new originators to come from our generation. So I think that's where the line is drawn, when you're not giving credit and you're not putting your own essence and your own personality into it.
I feel like that's a good summary of what it is. I have some artists that I feel like are like that. I'm not going to drop a list. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say a group of people. But there are some artists that I even listen to still that I feel like cross the line. I'm a big fan of Lucky, but I like Chief Keef just as much as the next guy. But come on, man.
I mean, it's that regional sound, especially in Chicago. Chief Keef, his influence is really crazy, but there's a lot of artists who emulate him, and not even just him. Lucky's a great example too. I think there are people who are inspired by Lucky, but they also take it and they turn it into their whole aesthetic and they turn it into their own style. And it's okay, relax.
Yeah. And for me, Lucky, his sound, I feel like that's unique. But sometimes the album covers, it was just I feel like every part of music is a way to express yourself. I don't feel like you're expressing yourself. You're just regurgitating what you've seen somebody else do. So it's those are their experiences, and that's how they came to express themselves. So show me you, show me what you're about.
And I think an important part of that, I was talking to a friend about how I think a lot of that comes from artists not spending and taking time to explore their sound and their own identity. People want to jump straight to selling out shows and performing and headlining when they don't take the essential time to find themselves and hone themselves as an artist and finding their voice. And then they just latch on to someone else's identity, and then they get traction for that, whereas you're not being yourself. You're not getting noticed because of who you are in your artistry. You're getting noticed because you're pretending to be someone else. And we all know there's someone else. So I think it's really just as essential as an artist, anyone at all, to find your niche, find who you are, find what works and what doesn't work. And you don't have to promote yourself right away, because with that, then you start to put more expectations, not just for you, but for your audience as well. You want them to like this. You want this and that. When you don't even know what you like. You don't know what your friends like. You don't know who around you may like what. You're not getting constructive criticism. So how you expect to do all of these things and you don't even know who you are?
Yeah, I feel like that boxes you into. It's you're kind of trapped in that. You were so horny for attention that you were willing to do that. Now when you really do find yourself and you know what you want to do, you might be trapped in that box. You might be a spawn of Cardi. Now you got to wear eyeliner when you're 30. You might not want to do that.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah, people grow, change, and evolve. And putting yourself into that box of I want to be Young Thug so bad. Now you got to put a gun under the dress. Not everybody wants to do that. But then when you break out of that, your streams go down, people stop paying attention. You're signing yourself up for a 360 deal, a 1080 deal at that. So it's insane.
Some of these deals are not even 360s. You're just straight up getting put in a full Nelson.
You are. It's really unfortunate. I do want to talk about that though. I want to look more into the label side of it, because a lot of these, especially underground artists, they get treated very unfairly and they're preyed on by these labels, which is nothing new. But in this generation where we're, I feel like we're overly independent and we want to be on our own so bad and hyper individualized, I feel like that takes away the part of like, you need to make sure and pay attention to what exactly you're doing and what you're signing up for, because otherwise you might end up in something that you can't get out of, or you're going to spend years trying to get out of, and it's expensive.
Yeah. Shout out to the lawyers. You're making a killing on making
Shout out to the lawyers.
bad decisions profitable for yourself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad decisions in this industry.
Too many.
But yeah, man, that's all for today. Thank you, China Rose, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Ball player paper, you would think I was a drop. No. Zone 6 brick boy. Watch me score 100. Call Dick Vitale, cause Gucci a diaper dandy. PT player, I bought a blue Aston. Draw season bricks go up, do the adding. If you smoke crack rock, then you're an addict.